it's me, Renee. I'm back. And yeah, I got a little 80s thing here. Kind of nice, but yeah, I suppose also this uh, hair thingy. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, as you can see from the title, this is me talking about my reading goals this year and the upcoming year. So this year, I had a goal to read more Latinx authors than before because I kind of realized I haven't really read that many of those. Like I read them now and then, but I really feel like often like there might be some Latinx characters in the books, but often they're not the authors I go to. So yeah, I had a goal to read more than that than before, and I managed that. I read 7 Latinx books. Okay, so Latinx meaning by Latin American author, Latin American author. You know what? I'm not gonna. You know what? Give me a moment. Yes, sorry, I am. I have a few books here, but these are just 4 books. I have a few more reads that are. I think the other reads are. Same again. Audiobooks. So yeah. But yeah, we have Fat Chance Charlie Vega by Crystal Maldonado. I absolutely love this one. For some reason, I was like going around thinking this one came out this year, but actually came out last year. But yeah, pretty recent read anyway. Well, pretty recent book. And then we have Time Villains by Victor Pinheiro. This is a middle grade book, and it's about people from history coming to this small town through some magic oogie boogie thingy, and it's a first in a series. Not sure if it's duology or not, but yeah, I just ordered the second one, and yeah. And then we have Charlie Hernandez and the League of Shadows by Ryan Calejo. I just finished this one a few weeks ago, and I very much enjoyed it. Though I feel like I'm not quite sure what I would describe it, if it's a middle grade or YA, because okay, I'm not quite sure if this ever mentioned, but I feel like the characters might be like 12, 13, like they're not 9, they're more like 12, 13. And I would say they act more like young teens than they act like 9, 10-year-olds. But I suppose sometimes 12, 13-year-olds can act like 10-year-olds, but yeah, you know what I mean. But anyway, very much enjoy this. Just very, very good book. All about Latin American mythology, but also Spanish mythology and Hispanic, I suppose, Hispanic mythology in general. And yeah, also quite scary now and then. And yeah. And then we have A Caribbean Heiress in Paris. So the author behind this one, she is Afro Afro Caribbean. Uh, she is from the Dominican Republic, and yeah, and this is a first in her I want to say trilogy, yeah, trilogy, historical romance trilogy. Though she has lots of other books already out. But yeah, this I believe is her first historical read book. I might be wrong there, but anyway, yeah, came out this year. Has been on many lists of like best books, best romance of the year, and best books of the year, and I highly, highly agree with that one, with that kind of idea, because yeah, this book so good, so good. So yeah, read this year, and as I said, I feel like I've read like Latinx books before, but authors before, but it's probably been like 1, maybe 2 a year. So yeah, kind of going over today, I feel like oh, it was 7 books. So yeah, I was quite happy with that number. How high? I suppose like when you go from reading 0 or 1 to like reading just kind of above 2, I would say like I mean, any progress is progress. So like it can't go slowly, doesn't it? So yeah. And give me a moment. Yeah. And I also had a goal to read 50 queer reads, but I made this goal for myself in like October. So even though I have read quite a lot of queer reads before that, reading 50 queer reads in November and December, that is kind of ambitious. So I did not end up reaching this goal. I'm at this point in time while filming. Okay, so filming it's the 21st. This will probably go up sometime next week, but yeah. I might read a few more queer reads, but will I read 25 more? So like 24 more? How many am I missing to get to 50? I'm missing like 15, I think, and I probably won't get to all of those. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it is. You're not gonna reach all your goals. I mean, at least for me, because I'm a mood reader, and also like if you're not a mood reader, sometimes life gets in the way. So yeah, I mean, you can't really be too mad about that. Life is life, and c'est la vie, really. And yeah, 2023, and yeah, looking ahead to next year. What I plan to like have as goals for next year. I want to kind of continue to like read more next books. I want to read more queer books, though I feel like I have maybe read more queer authors these last few years than I have read Latinx authors, but I feel like now and then I kind of, not on purpose, but I kind of tend to be in a rut and read only straight romance or like only straight authors. So like I want to, yeah, I want to like I want to like see like in the future. I kind of want to go to like a place where like I can easily reach whatever part of the book internet or book world there is, not just go automatically for something cis het white male. But I suppose often a lot of the people I read are cis het white female. But yeah, to kind of have like a more general go-to area. But like for example, a few years ago, well, 2020, when like everyone was talking about in general how it's not really that safe to be Afro American in the United States because gun laws and idiot police and whatnot. But it was also like talk about how like, well, it's not really, people often read about their own experiences, so they don't really think about African Americans being people and whatnot. And yeah, it kind of made people think about things in life in a whole different way, at least for me. So like after that year, I kind of wanted to be much more aware to like, I suppose, yeah, much more conscious of my reading. So I wanted to like have more black authors on my radar, not like just kind of, I'm gonna read one black author, but like having like more black authors that I kind of go to because. For example, now I've read all of Tyler Hilbert's books. Well, I read most of them, and I want to read the ones I haven't, and want to keep reading them. So like, simply having some go-to offers from different areas of the world, I think is an easy way to like get more diverse reading in naturally. And yeah, and yeah, so yeah, there is that, and yeah. I also have planned to actually do like a thing that's now I'm blanking out. It's not books like wall. It is, yeah. It's Happy from Now. Is it from Happy from Now? She's doing a read your own books challenge. And you know what? Instead of doing an own video, I'm just gonna do it here. Yeah, so yeah, I saw her talk about this one yesterday, and I saw like the whole thing today. And yeah, so she has like a challenge for herself to like fix to read more from a TBR. So she has lots of books, both audible, well, both um, audiobooks and ebooks. For me, it's mostly physical books, but yeah, I mean, working in a bookstore, I mean, it's a temptation to buy books is present, ever present, really. Uh, but yeah, so I've kind of made a thing for myself here because you said like kind of make your own rules, not like don't look at my rules, just kind of make your own thing. Like the idea is to like read from your own shelves, from your own books, until the first 3 months of next year, so January, February, March. So I suppose, yeah, if you're good at doing that, you can get through quite a lot of reads those 3 months, really. And yeah, as I said, I have mostly physical books, though quite a lot of audiobooks as well. I have not counted them all because I was too lazy to do that, but I've counted them. So it's roughly 400 unread books that I own. Yeah, quite a lot. But I suppose at this moment in time, I have a lot of books in different genres. So like even me being a mood reader, I can reach for most of them. So yeah, I've set some goals for like within like read your own books within that challenge. I have continue with 3 series. I have several series that I own more of, or like that I have books I haven't read in that I own in. And so yeah, I think like continue with 3 series. Like it could be like one book from each series each month, maybe. Or 1 month I do two books from one series. That could happen. I don't know. And yeah, so I feel like that's a good goal to have. And I have start 2 series because I also have a few books beginning of series that I haven't started yet. And then I have read one fantasy because both last year and this year I've just kind of been in the fantasy slump. Like I've been reading fantasy now and then, but not as much as before. And it hasn't really been like I feel like I've outgrown fantasy because there's still lots of fantasy books out there. I feel like, oh, that sounds so cool. And I feel like when I outgrow something, I won't really think, oh, that sounds cool, because then you wouldn't really be interested in reading it and stuff. So yeah. But I feel like, I mean, even though I haven't really been a big fantasy mood, I feel like reading one fantasy book during 3 months, I feel like that's a doable thing. Because I mean, also I'm saying like here, and now I'm going like no matter genre, so it could be high fantasy, it could be time travel, it could be paranormal, whatnot. And also, if one of these is also part of a series, cool, I can double up. I don't really mind of that really. I suppose, yeah. And I read a lot during the year, so like I could potentially, if I'm lucky and have a good reading month, I can read a lot, like maybe 100 books during 3 months. Is that a lot? Maybe too much. Well, anyway, yeah. And then I have read one nonfiction, and then I have finished one nonfiction because yeah, I also have quite a lot of books that I've started but I haven't finished, so I still wanted to finish them. So yeah, I feel like these are nice goals. Yeah. And then I have read one Asian or Asian American or Asian, or like Asian British or like Asian like whatnot author. I say Asian like or Asian something more because in general, like when I read something that's not like cishet whites, it's often like Asian British or Asian Norwegian or like Asian, yeah. So like having someone who's from like having reading a book by a Chinese person who's lived all their life in China, and the book is translated to Norwegian or English. I feel like those books, I suppose that name Sam Petty and all that. I feel like those books often like I feel like there's a reason why at least I often don't read those books because I feel like they're mostly written for the Chinese audience. So me as a Norwegian audience, I would probably understand like a little of it, but not that much. Even though the language barrier is gone, because I mean, there's probably gonna be a lot of references and stuff. So yeah, I mean there is that. So yeah, um, I'm wimpy that way. So that's what I do. And yeah, and now I have read 4 arcs. 4 arcs. And yeah, I get some arcs from work because I work in a bookstore. And yeah, I get them like, well, I suppose I can order them, but I can also like get them when I want. I also get like, we always get like from publishers automatically, and but you can also request arc. And yeah, I have some arcs I haven't read that are quite old now, but yeah, that I kind of want to read them. So yeah, read 4 arcs. I feel like it's a good goal, good thing to reach for. And then I have like as a perk. So okay, because I know there's like new books coming out in January, February, March that I want to read. But also like I do also know that libraries close to me also often have like newer books in them. It's not just like old English books, but also often also newer books. So I feel like if I want to read any of the new books, go to a library instead of buying them. Or if I read 5 books, I can buy one new book. And I feel like that's kind of a good goal to have really, and thing to reach for. I feel like that's not too bad really. Yeah, blah 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 blah. And yeah, I suppose you might think like, okay, so like if I continue with 3 series and then start 2 series, that's 5 books and one fantasy, one nonfiction, or one finish one nonfiction, and if I can't together all these, it'll be just like 12 books during 3 months. Isn't that a bit low? I suppose depending on who you are, but like for me, that's a bit low. I'm not saying that I will only read like each one of these. I'm saying that this is my goals. Like if I like finish 3 series, cool. If I finish 3 series and uh, start 4 series, cool. But if I only, if I only start 2 series, then I've reached my goal. So yeah, it's kind of like to like achieving that sense of fulfillment or sense of like, yes, I managed it. I feel like setting the goals not too high. I suppose maybe I'll revisit this in February because like if I have ideas for new goals or something, I could do another video. But for now, I feel like this is a good place to start, really. And yeah, that's it for today, really. I hope you're having a nice Christmas time or time between Christmas and New Year's Eve time. And I'll see you soon. Bye.